Welcome to Berlin. This is our 4th annual meeting, and a lot has happened over the last 12 months. If I think about our last annual meeting, we were in Vancouver, Canada, and how many people, raise your hands, were in Canada at that meeting? All right, so a lot of you. So you knew that a lot of what we were talking about in Vancouver 12 months ago, we were excited that at 4 years, we had accomplished so much. Couldn't believe where we were in terms of membership and deployments, and very excited. And at that time, we were talking a lot about technology. You know, when we talked to our customers or we were in the meetings, it was just a lot about the technology. And there was a lot of trials happening, very large trials, and a lot of proof of concepts. And we were excited about them, but they were still trials. So what's happened in the last 12 months? Let me share with you. Let's get this switched. Let me see. There we go. So LoRaWAN in the last 12 months has had massive deployments, and we are scaling at a rate that is incredible. We have also become the de facto standard, the global de facto standard for LPWAN. Very exciting. We are no longer just talking about technology with our customers. We're talking about solutions and return on investments. You know, when we start talking solutions and ROI, that we've made that big transitions from just a new technology play to a real play in the market with consumers that are getting value from the product. So, and LoRaWAN also in the last 12 months has really become the massive IoT backbone for connecting products and services. The other thing I want to say is in the last 12 months, we've moved to mass adoption from just early adopters. So that bridge that we've crossed, early adopters doing LoRaWAN, the pilots, the trials, those trials have converted into long-term contracts. Birds and Orange is an example of the water meters with over 2 million devices being connected. But they're all over the globe. And so those trials that have converted, they're long-term contracts. We've got millions of deployments in the market. It is incredible what has happened in the last 12 months. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to point to click out here. All right. There we go. So the other thing that's happened is we've had over a 60% growth in network operators. We have over 100 network operators in over 140 countries in the world. That's incredible. That map is pretty much all yellow. And I just want to keep reminding you, it's only been 4 years since the alliance has begun. Absolutely incredible. And this doesn't account for the private deployments that we've seen. The private deployments, which we can't track because they're private, but from my understanding, they're getting close to 50% of the market, both 50% private and 50% public. So let's look at our membership. This is another exciting growth point since the last meeting. We have the most extensive ecosystem around for IoT. And why is this important? It's important because IoT is very, very complicated, and it's hard to implement. So what our job is to make it easy and consumable so that the consumers can have a need. We talk about the solution and we fill it. And how do we make it simple? By a very vast ecosystem. We have everything from chip makers all the way to fully integrated systems. And it is absolutely required to be an open standard, to have this breadth and depth of an ecosystem to implement all of those changes. Very, very important. The other thing I want to say is our members drive continued growth and new standards within our alliance. And the way we get the best information is by looking at the customer's needs from every single aspect. And with this large, vast ecosystem, every single aspect of the customer need is taken into consideration and looked at to develop and grow our specifications. Very critical. So this is important, and our ecosystem is important, but let me veer off just a quick second, which I think is even as or more important to why what we're doing. We are in this room, and we are doing a service that is beyond just the profitable bottom line. Our members are creating a need and a purpose. It's not just profitability, which I know that's why we're all here, but the need and the purpose of what we do is so important. Ultimately, it's the information that we gather, and we take that information and it gets evaluated, and we use that relevant data to literally change the world at every level, at every aspect, for every person on this planet. And I just want to give a couple examples of the work that you're doing and why it's so purposeful and why it's so important. So let me just start off with a couple areas. And I know we always talk about verticals, and of course I'll get there. But human health and wellness, the impact that you are doing every single day is impacting human health and wellness. We have a large deployment that's happening in hospital systems, helping patients, looking at the drugs and monitoring the drugs. We have Alzheimer's units that are using LoRaWAN. We have home health care units, fall prevention. You are contributing with the data that you're providing to improving our health and wellness around the globe. Agriculture and farming, that's a big one, right? So livestock tracking for illness, where they are, for disease management, for what the health and welfare of the livestock. We also have, we're doing for endangered species. There's a couple LoRaWAN cases where the rhinos in Africa are being monitored to track for their endangerment and what's happening and where they're going. Same thing with whales in the ocean. That's a huge impact that we are affecting around the globe. And then certainly not least is the farming, particularly in third world countries and developing countries. When we can measure soil, water, temperature for the crops, it yields better crops. There's less waste and more food to go around. It is so important what you're doing. We also have safety. So in high risk types of industries like mining, like oil refineries, there's all kinds of safety LoRaWAN devices that are happening to ensure the safety for these high risk workers, as well as safety in flood detection, safety in building and bridge structure. With our LoRaWAN devices, we know when something's is gonna tumble or that the structure's not safe. These are all so critical to what you are impacting in this world. And then environmental, which is huge for on a bunch of different levels, but environmental around water quality, air quality, pollution, waste management, toxic gases. All of these things, because of the LoRaWAN technology and because of you sitting in this room and working together as partners and collaborating as partners and making a very complicated IoT solution very easily consumable and deployed for your customers, you are affecting all of these health and environmental and human health safety issues around the world. So, of course, last but not least, is business transformations. We help with LoRaWAN in terms of improved efficiency, improved effectiveness, machine AI and maintenance for predictive management. We also help ultimately with the bottom line. All of those cost reductions or driving revenue, at the end of the day, is about improving the bottom line for every business that we serve. So, in a nutshell, when you look at about all of these aspects, it's really about what we're doing and how everyone in this room is contributing to improving the health, safety, and wellness and profitability for every company and every person around the entire globe. So we'll get on to the verticals, but I don't want to lose that in all of the business talk. The purpose of what you're doing is significant. And I would go so far to say that it is LoRaWAN and what we're doing is probably one of the greatest transformative solutions to help improve every aspect of human health and environment on every level. All right, so now we're going to talk about the verticals. So, of course, there's more verticals than the ones that I'm listing. We have smart buildings, we have smart cities, we have industrial IoT, there's utilities, there's agriculture, and asset tracking. Within each one of these verticals, I'm sure you're aware that there are thousands and thousands of use cases in these verticals. And so today, we have millions, and I mean millions, of LoRaWAN deployments in all of these verticals. It's critical that we understand that this is the one, that these verticals are what LoRaWAN is focusing on today, but by no means is this the only verticals that are happening. Like I talked about, we've got verticals in every single areas, we've got applications in every single area, but these are the ones that we're focusing on. And I'd like to say this, 25% of the market, of the mass IoT market, really is probably around 5G, right? There is about 25% of that mass market that is going to be requiring low latency, it's going to be requiring high bandwidth, and there'll be services like connected car, there'll be services like emergency services and video entertainment. So of that 25% of the mass IoT market, that is not our area, and we're really clear about that. And we'll be working with 5G because they'll be picking up those 25% of those critical emergency, low latency use cases. However, this market is really all about the applications. It is application driven based on the needs that the consumers have. And 75% of the market will be the LoRaWAN space. 75% of the market will be a long battery, long distance, small data packets. It will require deep penetrations in buildings and through concretes and deep underground. It will require connections in rural areas and overseas. And guess what? That's what we do with LoRaWAN. That's 75% of the market. And I'll explain later, but 75% of the market that we know about right now. And we'll talk a little bit about the market that no one's even talking about. So why is it important about look for the mark? You will be seeing today, and the last year has been really all about expanding our certification program. Certified devices are critical to have a global standard. You cannot have a global de facto standard without devices in the market that have been tested through a rigorous certification program. And we've really expanded our certification program this year. When you've got millions right now, but soon to be billions and billions of connected devices in the market, devices that are buried underground and in very hard to reach places, you can't go around and if the devices go sideways and replace them. It's just not feasible. And so, certification, as we continue to scale, we continue to grow, we continue to capture 75% of that incredible mass market, you must have LoRaWAN certified devices. And as an alliance, we are very strong on this, and we will be promoting only LoRaWAN certified devices. You have to know they've been tested. You have to know that the brand promise is there, and you have to know that they're going to work for 10 years as expected, or our brand promise or our recognition goes sideways in the market. It is critical. And our consumers are counting on long life devices to do the work that's intended in billions and billions of devices deployed. So today, also Derek will be speaking later, Derek Hunt, our Director of Certification, about our new certification. He'll be speaking about, oh, there we go. Hi. All right, he'll be speaking about our new LoRaWAN pre-certification test tool. And this is super exciting because the Alliance has spent time, energy, and money in developing a pre-certification test tool for all of our members. This is a huge member benefit. Why? Because you can take this tool at your location You can do all the rigorous testing, both in terms of testing against a specification, RF testing, and interoperability testing at your location. It assures you that when you go to get your device certified, you'll pass certification. It'll be quicker, it'll be simpler, it'll cost less, and then you can get the LoRaWAN certified mark. So Derek will be talking more about this. We are just launching it at this meeting. And as a member, again, this is such a huge benefit. And it's not just for device manufacturers. It is for the entire IoT ecosystem that this is important. Because if the devices aren't performing as expected, it impacts all of us, no matter where you are on the value chain. So it is critical that we all support certified devices. Okay. So, I also want to say, and I know Derek will talk about this, but I am really proud of the European service providers who have come together and said, we will only allow LoRaWAN certified devices on our networks. So hurrah to you. You are starting the momentum going forward, and I hope to see that carried around the world because it is critical. So that's very exciting. Let me go to here. This is my last slide in the keynote, and we'll get to the awards. Here's what I want to say, and this is what is super great. LoRaWAN has one of the largest developer ecosystems. And we also have the largest implementation ecosystem. So what does that mean? It means innovation hasn't even begun yet. We know the markets, we know what we're implementing, but it hasn't even begun yet. The innovation is up to us. So this is where I say, we know what smart cities look like, we know what most asset tracking looks like, we know what a smart building might look like, and every time you implement, the use cases keep expanding once you're in the deployment. But what we don't know is what we don't know, and that is the incredible innovation that hasn't even yet begun to come forward. So whatever the analysts say and predict for our growth in this market, and we have Lee from IHS that's going to do some great presentations and show some market predictions. So Lee, wherever you are, I'm sorry, but whatever you say, it is so significantly greater than that because the innovation at a level that is going to happen hasn't even begun yet. It is literally mind-blowing to think about what can happen. And once you deploy into an area, as you're currently seeing with the known use cases and the known devices, it just keeps expanding. They just keep adding more once you have the network. Well, now we can track this, now we can track that. It is probably the most exciting industry that I have ever been a part of. And so for everybody in this room, you're lucky and you're smart because this is a place to be. It is absolutely the right time. The market is absolutely pulling us. We have the best of breed technology. We have an incredible ecosystem. We're covered all over the world. I am telling you, this is the time, and you are just at the beginning, no matter how great it feels we are right now, just at the beginning of an incredible expansion that, again, innovation is going to continue to take us further to areas we haven't even thought of yet. Anything out there, everything out there can talk to us and provide us with information. It's all about the information. So with that, I'd like to move forward. Thank you very much on that. I'm going to move forward over here to my thing here. So if we can turn this down. So, I'll just do here. So we're going to move to awards. So I would like to move on and thank our sponsors. I'd like to thank Mineral Zenner. If you could please stand up. Yes, a little round of applause. So Mineral Zenner is our platinum sponsor for today. We thank you so much. They did a great job helping to drive and put on this conference, as well as Simtech. Simtech, can you stand up as well, please? Thanks, Simtech. So Simtech sponsored the app, and you'll be really thankful to them because they're sponsoring the beer fest tonight after our meeting. So hurrah! Yay! Okay, let me just move on. Now I want to do some thanking and some awards, and then we will move on to some great presentations today. Okay, let's move on next. Oh, one quick other housekeeping. So we have the marketplace. I saw a lot of you over in the marketplace. There is some incredible demonstrations going on over there. It's some of the best of breed and latest technologies and implementations out there. Please spend lunchtime and after this morning session in our marketplace so that you can learn about some of the latest devices and technologies and thinking that's happening for LoRaWAN. All right. So again, I would like to thank. We just had our new round of board members, and so these are our outgoing board members, and then I'll introduce our incoming board members for this year. But I'd like to have the outgoing board members, if you're in the room, to please stand up. They're in here. Yes, we are. So. Thank you. We see Eric and, okay. All right. So our outgoing board members are Peter Bueller, just keep standing, Simon Phillip, Eric Brunzel, Vincent Haberlink, Frederick Lehoist, Wu-Chan Lee, Hayanku Han, Jiajane Liu, and Jujin Chen. So thank you for the last year. So all this great growth that you've just seen, this incredible growth, this astonishing growth, thank our outgoing board members. They were part of it over this last year. All right, so now I get to thank our incoming board members. I'd like to have you come up to the stage. Oliver Herson and Alper Yagan. I'm not sure if you're all here, but please come up. From Actility. Oliver. From Cisco, Vikas Butney and Gary Stubing. From Curlink, Yannick Dibley and Benjamin Murray. What's that? Okay. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, you could move it for me. Where am I at? Okay, next one. And from Machine Q, Alex Krim and Michael Putterman. Alex. From Obgenius, Stephen Allaire and Arnaud Vanderving. Did I do good? From Orange, Ronan Labrosse and Francois Richet. From Sagacom, Thierry Lesteblau and Didier Guillaume. From Simtech, Olivia Bajard and Mark Pegalou. From ST Micro, Joel Hula and Hakeem Jafar. And from Tencent, I'm not sure they're here. There, Yachin Wang and Kiwen Kai. So let me just say, without the incredible leadership from this board, both past and current board members, we wouldn't be where we are. I chair the board meetings. The leadership is strategic and incredible. They do a lot of work, and I just want you to know and thank our board for their time, their energy, and their leadership for driving these organizations to places that is just incredible. So, well, I think we're going to get a picture really quick. Sorry, solution. Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, we'll have you go ahead and stop. Thank you. You're good, you're good. All right, so I'm going to wrap up with some award nominations. And you know, the nominations that we're doing, the nominees were nominated by their fellow members within the organization for their contributions and hard work. It was brought to the board, and then the board voted on the nomination. So these are very important, and without this contribution and hard work, we would not be where we are today. So, this is one of our first Distinguished Service Awards, and it's a contribution to the certification committee, creating the in-device certification specification for Class B devices and valuable involvement with the first test harness for Class B operations. And that goes to Diego Bardalum.
I just wanna be part of your symphony. We hold me tight and not let go. Symphony, like a love song on the radio. Symphony, we hold me tight and not let go. Symphony.
All right, so for the next one, it's significant marketing contributions and promotions to LoRaWAN in India. And this goes to Ali Hosseini. Ali's not here today, but we have someone collecting the award. All right, and you're clicking forward, great. Okay, so the next award is dedicated contributions to the technical committee, working on the LoRaWAN specification, including change requests and errata process. And this goes to Dave Jendel from, play music please. Dave Jendel from Senate. All right, we have another Distinguished Service Award, and this award is for contributions to the certification committee towards the development of the first certification, specification, and test harness. And this service award goes to Marcus Ryder at IMST. That wasn't Marcus, just so you know, but she did pick up on his behalf from IMST. All right. So the next Distinguished Service Award goes to contribution to the Regional Parameters Working Group in preparation for the CN 470 channel plan and leading the LoRaWAN relay discussions. And this award goes to Shaibo Yu from Alibaba.
I'm the lyrical gangster. Dial emergency number. Still love you like that. Na 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 na. So we do it, man. Na 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 na.
Again, not Shaibo, but thank you for picking it up. I also have another, so now we're moving on to the Work Group Leadership Awards. And the Work Group Leadership Awards are for those that have been impactful in leading our work groups. So this award is for valuable contribution to the technical committee related to the development of LoRaWAN backend interfaces, roaming, firmware update over the air, regional parameters, and leadership in DLMS and LoRaWAN. Now, he's not here. This goes to Sajimcom for Marcus, oh Lord, Marcus Logoriak. And I want to say, I'm going to have someone from Sajimcom pick this up, but I just want to say, Marcus has retired and is very happy. And when he left, we told him, Marcus, you know, just like everybody else in this room that's contributing, your contributions to the LoRa Alliance, even though you've retired, will live on for generations and generations, which is true for everybody in this room. So we miss him dearly. He was such an instrumental impact to the organization. So do we have someone from Samsung that will pick this up? Marcus's award? Shipped it. Okay, good. Well, I hope you shipped it to the Bahamas because he's probably lounging and drinking a Mai Tai somewhere. Okay, we have another Work Group Leadership Award, and it's dedicated leadership as the chair of the FUDO Working Group and development of the foundational specifications. And this one goes to Julian Catalano at Curlink. All right. Oops. Another Working Group Leadership Award, and this is creating and chairing the regulatory working group to defend and support the unlicensed spectrum for LoRaWAN access globally. This is such an important, the regulatory work group is important for all of us. They really have been defending and working to keep our unlicensed spectrum available for us. So this award is from Syntec to Olivier Bouchard.
One more time. One more time.
All right. We have, let me make sure I'm not missing one. Okay, we have 3 awards left. And one is a corporate award. This is significant contributions to the technical committee and leadership of the Regional Parameters Task Force and contributions to the marketing committee activities. The corporate awards are so important, and this award goes to Multitech.
I like the way you move. I like the way you move.
All right, our last corporate award, and this award is for outstanding leadership in the Roadmap Working Group and contributing resources and expertise across all committees. And this corporate award goes to Simtech. And just so everyone, if you don't know, I'm sure you know, this is also the person who invented LoRaWAN. It's from Simtech. All right, this is the last award. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award. I wonder if the person thinks they can retire after this. The answer is no. So you got a lot more to contribute. So this award is for outstanding commitment and leadership of the LoRa Alliance in key roles including technical committee co-chair and the LoRa Alliance Board of Directors vice chair. He's my vice chair. And this award goes to Alper Yagan from Actility. All right, thank you so much. Alper, well-deserved for sure. You can click next slide. All right, so I guess I gotta stay here. So let me just say, in conclusion for my part today, I thank you so much for all of your contributions. I thank you for being here. I hope that you feel like I feel, that I am just blessed to be a part of this journey because we are doing such incredible work on all levels. We're impacting the globe on all levels. We're transforming the world. And you know, the other thing about LoRaWAN that I just love, it really is a disruptive, transformative technology, but guess what? It doesn't really disrupt the customers. And so that's usually that's unusual for a technology that's transformative.